Very dear students, my audience all over the world. This is Dr. Ahmed, and I am going to record today chapter 7 of the novel The Scarlet Letter by Nathanial Hawthorne. And if you want to see the other chapters, they have already been recorded and are available on my YouTube channel. Chapter 7 is very interesting because here, once again, we are going to witness the scene that not only Hester but also her daughter Pearl is going to visit a man who is actually the ruler of the state, who is actually responsible for the law enactment and then establishment and then enforcement. And he is the ruler at a time when Puritanism is quite evidently available in USA. So the thing is that the chapter title is going to be the Governor Hall. Chapter title is quite appropriate because Hester, with her daughter, has gone to see the governor on certain pretexts, which I shall be explaining just in a moment. But she is not in this chapter meeting the governor. She is only looking at the residential building and the hall of the governor. Same is the thing being witnessed by Pearl. Pearl is a child, you know very well. This is Hester's child, and she's a very beautiful child. She is elf-like child, and the same kind of qualities she possesses all the time and exhibits them as well. She is going to compare her word of one cottage in which her mother lives with her with the word which is established by the Governor Hall. So let us see what happens in this chapter. Chapter 7, I'm going to show you people. Here is chapter 7, the Governor Hall. The very first paragraph that we shall be considering for our discussion. It says, Hester Prynne went one day to the mansion of the Governor Bellingham, or Billingham, whatever you want to pronounce, with a pair of gloves which he had fringed and embroidered to his order, and which were to be worn on some great occasion of state, for though the chances of a popular election had caused this former ruler to descend a step or two from the highest rank, he still held an honorable and influential place among the colonial magistracy. So in the very beginning, if we put a question to ourselves, why Hester Prynne is going to meet the governor when she could transport all her embroidery to anyone who required without, personally possibly meeting if it was possible. She could give them without talking to them, and she could give without sharing. Why is here Hester Prynne creating a chance for her? The question can be answered the fact that she has been listening to certain reports that the governor or his lobby or his cabinet is thinking that somehow Pearl should be taken away from Hester because Hester has committed a sin, and therefore a child which is born to Hester should not live in the sinful environment, and she should be properly taught with the Christian norms of morality. And that is why Hester is coming here, that these people should not try to destroy her word, which is only one child, and that's going to be Pearl. So the readers can understand the difficulty that Hester is in. Not only she is meeting the kind of punishment she has been accorded to, but also now the child with whom she is living, with whom she is enjoying her word, with whom she is satisfactory, with for whom she is having all love and wants to bring that child up in a very loving way, and the child is responding definitely in a very critical way. That is the word which the word wants to snatch from her. This is what we are going to discuss today. What is the reason behind that? Why these people I have already talked about to you people, but what other repercussions, what other things are here? Let us try to find out more. The next passage that we shall be reading in this chapter is very small here. Then surely it would enjoy all the fairer prospect of these advantages by being transferred to wiser and better guardianship than Hester Prynne's. This is something which is the proof of the textual proof rather of the idea which I floated first of all, that Hester is going to lose her child because the community of that place, the government of that place, the religious authorities of that place think that if Hester is not given the possession of Prynne and Hester is not given the possession of Pearl, Pearl can be taken away from her, and therefore the purpose will be to give her a better guardianship, Christian morality, advantages, all these things would come to her if Hester is ready to give birth to them. That is what this has brought Hester to the governor hall, because she wants to talk to the governor, because she thinks that when she will meet face to face to him, he's a kind person and he is being served by her as well. The possibility is that the governor may rule out the idea This paragraph, let us consider what happens on the way when Hester and her Pearl are going to the Gorner house. As the two wayfarers came within the precincts of the town, the children of the Puritans looked up from their play or what passed for play with those sombre little urchins and spoke gravely one to another. Behold, verily, there is a woman of the Scarlet Letter, and of a truth, moreover, there is the likeness of Scarlet Letter running along by her side. Come therefore and let us fling mud at them. Now, this paragraph is very significant because two things are quite dominant in this paragraph. Number one thing is that the other children, which are born under the Puritanism system of Christian people in America, these children are thinking themselves to be superior. These children think themselves to be normal, and that is why they think the sin of Hester to be abnormal, and that is why they want to chastise them, they want to say bad words to them, and therefore they label the girl, as the last line says, that they are going to throw the mud on the girl because she is a likeness of her sin. Now, the girl is not being recognized as a girl, but the likeness of the Scarlet Letter and that of the sin as well. So, in their eye, the little baby, which has got nothing to do with the system of sin and morality, that baby is also being termed as something of the Scarlet Letter, something like the Scarlet Letter, and that is why they decide to throw mud on these two people. Now, this is what is happening in this world, that the hate that we have in one part of the world, we have in one part of our age or in one generation, that is automatically transferred to the next generation. Now, the hate which was shown by the community and society for Hester is automatically passing towards Pearl as well. So hate continues to pass from one to the other, and it continues to grow further as well. And the reaction of that hate also comes there. Nobody is there to show love. Nobody is there to spread love. Nobody is there to take love from one generation to the other. Most of the people are there to take this criminal hate to the next one. And that is the reason, very reason of the destruction of most of the societies. And that's what we are witnessing here. Let us dig deep into the chapter and see what is the reaction of Pearl when the children talk about her in such a way. The reaction is she screamed and shouted to with the terrific volume of sound which doubtless caused the hearts of the fugitives to quake within them. The victory accomplished, Pearl returned quietly to her mother and looked up smiling into her face. Now that's the reaction which Pearl shows. This is not the reaction of Esther. Pearl, as a child, cries, shouts at these children who wanted to throw mud at her in such a severe way that they ran away, and Pearl came back victorious. So that is the difference between Hester and Pearl. Hester couldn't cry, couldn't shriek for her punishment which was given to her. She silently bore this punishment. But on the other hand, we see Pearl here who is not able to bear that. She reacts, she shouts. No, from here we can guess from this little analogy of the children that children of the Puritan people may be taken as community, as society, and Pearl may be taken a woman. The woman is being oppressed by these people, but when she stands up, cries, shrieks for her right, these very urchins run away. So that is the kind of indication that possibly Hester might have cried, shrieked up. Hester might have talked in such a way. She might have loudly talked to the people. Possibly the people would run away. But that is the kind of idea that literature can suggest that the women should come up their voice, because only the voice is something which can secure them something good in this world. Otherwise, if they remain silent, more allegations of hate, dislike, and sin can be put against them. So let's go further and see more of this passages, what happens there. Ultimately, Hester and Pearl reach the home of that governor, and the door is there. And let's see the description of the door. Lifting the iron hammer that hung at the portal, Hester Prynne gave a summons which was answered by one of the governor's bond servant, a free-born Englishman, but now a 7-year slave. During the term he was to be the property of his master, and as much a commodity of bargain and sale as an ox or giant stool. The serf wore the customary garb of serving men at that period and long before in the old hereditary halls of England. This is the passage which is throwing a lot of light on the slave system or the slavery in USA, and that is the kind of blot and the black mark on the face of white humanity, that they have been preaching this Puritanism of Christianity and punishing their women for the sin as Hester is being punished. And claiming to be the pure religious people. And this is what is happening, that they are keeping the people enslaved. And the slaves have become so habitual of their slavery that they are not ready to come out of that, because the conditions and the subjectivity of the slaves have been so harsh that the generations and generations of slaves have become just slave like. That means they never think of freedom, they never think of coming out of that slavery. So that is why they behave in that way, and they are going to put a similar kind of dress which the forefathers as a slave have been taking. So it's a very big idea of slavery system in USA. On the one hand, there is Puritan, the religion, the moral and strong religion. On the other hand, humanity's slavery is being done. So that is the ugliness of the age, because of which number of hates develop and number of things happen which can be damaging to humanity. The writer is very beautifully putting the case of all the oppressed people. Women as oppressed people, as Hester is going to be, as Pearl is going to be, and these slaves also as the oppressed people. So here is the oppression. And wherever, according to Anya Luma, the post-colonial theorist and critic, wherever the oppression is there, post-colonial is there. So even if the people don't term this American literature to post-colonial, but it is about oppression of the powerful people on the less powerful or poor or weak people, and that is what it brings very close to the post-colonial literature as well. But still the chapter is there, so that is why let's go into the chapter and see something more which can be useful for us. Here in this chapter, the title of leech is given to Hester's husband, who is found to be in the Gorner house among the people. Not only her lover Demas Dale is there, but also her husband Chillingworth, who is given the name Leech by the doctor, by the writer. So all these people are coming together while Pearl is busy in playing and watching the things. And one of the things which Pearl watches is not only the flowers, because the flowers she watches in her home as well, but also she watches many other things like that. For example, here is something which she watches, and there is some kind of discussion on that. And let's see what's that discussion. Hester looked by way of humoring the child, and she saw that owing to the picture effect of this convex mirror, the Scarlet Letter was represented in exaggerated and gigantic proportion, so as to be greatly the most prominent feature of her appearance. In truth, she seemed absolutely hidden behind it. Pearl pointed out upwards also at a similar picture in the headpiece, smiling at her mother with the elfish intelligence that was so familiar an expression on her small physiognomy. Here is another example of the convex lens which is given to us, and that convex lens is used in order to exaggerate the size of the picture. So when Pearl is looking into that, definitely her size grows very bigger, and she calls her mother to look into that. And when the mother looks into that, she herself is less visible. That Scarlet Letter is more visible. And this is the allegorical message of the writer, that this is the Scarlet Letter whose influence is so big, so great, that the people like Hester are going to be damaged by that, undermined that, insulted by that, and ridiculed by that as well, and their lives would become hell as well. So that is why the image of this letter is so heavy, so big, that even the body of Pearl is not that visible. The body of Hester is not that visible. This letter is more and more visible. So this is the dominating thing, or kind of influencing, overpowering thing in the Puritan England of that time, which possibly has made the life of the people so hellish as that of the life of Hester is going to be. Very small two lines. Pearl, seeing the rose bushes, began to cry for a red rose and would not be pacified. So Pearl is asking her mother that she is there to take the red rose, because at home it is Hester which is helping her all the time to provide her red roses. And again, she has come to claim and wants to get the red rose, definitely without fail. And here we close the discussion on our chapter number 7 of this book, which is the Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Let's conclude that this chapter is about the visit of Hester and Pearl into this governor's hall. It's a beautiful building, garden is there, but 2 or 3 important things happen on the way. For example, on the way, Hester is able to make the children run away who wanted to damage not only her body, her mother's body, but also wanted to damage the name and personality of these people. And secondly, when they reach there, they are able to find beautiful building, big doors which cannot be opened without force, and so that is the power shown of the people who are controlling. And secondly, When Hester and Pearl are looking into the convex lens, they are able to see the growing and bigger size of the Scarlet Letter. And fourthly, in this chapter, we can see and we can imagine that the writer very cleverly is taking us to a situation where not only Chillingworth, the ex-husband or the husband of Hester, would be there in the shape of a doctor, so-called doctor, but also Demastate, her lover, whom she has been hiding from the world. Both will be present there, and the case of Pearl will be presented. And the most painful thing in this chapter is that the Pearl is going to be removed from her mother. The plan is being done, and that plan possibly is going to be enacted as well. That is why Pearl has come here. So you can see the struggle of Hester. That she is trying to save her daughter, she's trying to save her lover, she's sacrificing, she's facing all the bad things of the world, but is trying to save. And the society has come once again to snatch that very pearl from her, which is her word, and she is making an effort to save her. So that was the chapter of today. Hopefully, you might have enjoyed. If you have enjoyed, if you have understood anything out of it, please do not fail to hit the subscribe button and to hit the like button, and also post your comment as well. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again.